Princess Yura stood on her balcony and watched the small shuttle descend from the orange sky. The ship carried humans. She had heard many things about them. Her people called them primitive. They called them emotional and weak. They said humans were like children who never learned to control themselves. But the Galactic Coalition had made a decision. After someone tried to kill Yura 2 weeks ago, the Coalition insisted on sending their best warriors to protect her. And their best warriors were humans. Yura touched her silver face with her long fingers. Her skin was smooth and cool. All Valari had skin like this. But Valari's skin did something that Yura hated. It glowed. It changed colors based on feelings. When a Valari felt happy, their skin turned gold. When they felt sad, it turned blue. When they felt love, it turned rose. This was the curse of her people. They could not hide their emotions. Everyone could see what they felt just by looking at their skin. Yura had trained her whole life to control her glow. Royal Valari were supposed to be calm. They were supposed to feel nothing. Emotions were weakness. Her father, Emperor Taiwan, had taught her this since she was a child. The shuttle landed in the courtyard below. Yura watched as the door opened and several figures stepped out. They looked so strange. Their skin did not glow. It stayed one color. They were shorter than Valari, and their bodies looked soft and breakable. How could these creatures protect anyone? Lady Mingi, her handmaiden, appeared beside her. "Princess, your father requests your presence in the throne room. The humans have arrived." Yura nodded slowly. "I know. I was watching them." "Are you nervous?" Mingi asked with a small smile. "Oh," Yura said quickly. But a faint pink color appeared on her cheeks. Mingi noticed, but said nothing. The throne room was large and beautiful. Crystal pillars rose toward the ceiling, and soft light filled every corner. Emperor Taiwan sat on his throne, his face showing no emotion. His skin was perfectly calm and gray. He had mastered control long ago. General Saiyajin stood beside the emperor. The general was tall and proud, and he looked at the humans with disgust in his eyes. Yura walked to her place beside her father. She kept her back straight and her face empty. She would not let these humans see any weakness. The doors opened, and 4 humans entered. 3 of them were soldiers in dark armor, but one walked in front. He was different. He was tall for a human, with black hair cut short and a strong jaw. His eyes were dark and calm like deep water. He moved with confidence like he belonged in this palace of aliens. He did not look scared or impressed. He simply looked ready. "Emperor Taiwan," the human said, bowing his head slightly. "I am Kung Dohan. The Coalition has assigned me to protect Princess Yura." His voice was deep and steady. Yura found herself staring at him. There was something about the way he stood, the way he spoke. He seemed so sure of himself. Then his eyes moved to her. Their gazes met, and Yura felt something strange in her chest. It was like a small spark. Before she could stop it, her skin flickered. A soft pink glow appeared on her face and neck. No, 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 no. She turned away quickly, trying to hide it. Pink meant curiosity. Pink meant interest. She could not let anyone see that, but Doan had seen. She knew he had. Yet he said nothing. His face remained calm and polite. "The princess does not need protection from humans," General Saiyajin said coldly. "Our Valari guards are more than capable." "With respect," General Doan replied, "your guards failed to stop the last assassin." "I will not fail." The room went silent. Saiyajin's skin flashed red with anger, but Emperor Taiwan raised his hand. "Enough. The human will serve as my daughter's personal guard. This is the Coalition's wish, and I have agreed to it." The Emperor looked at Yura. "You will accept this arrangement." Yura bowed her head. "Yes, father." She did not look at Doan again. She could not risk another glow. The first day was difficult. Doan followed her everywhere. He stood outside her door. He walked behind her in the gardens. He watched her during meals. His presence was constant and uncomfortable. "You do not need to follow so closely," Yura said finally, her voice cold. "I am safe within the palace walls." The last assassin entered through the palace walls. Doan replied simply, "I go where you go, princess." She wanted to argue, but he was right. She hated that he was right. That night, Yura could not sleep. She stood by her window and looked at the stars. She thought about the human warrior. He confused her. He was supposed to be primitive, but his eyes held intelligence. He was supposed to be weak, but his body moved like a weapon. He was supposed to be emotional, but his face showed nothing. Maybe humans were not what her people believed. A sound broke the silence. It was soft, like a footstep where there should be none. Yura turned. A shadow moved in the corner of her room. Someone was there. Before she could scream, the shadow rushed toward her. She saw a blade shine in the darkness. But then another shadow moved faster. Doan appeared from nowhere. He crashed into the assassin with incredible speed. The two bodies hit the floor and rolled. Yura heard the sounds of fighting. Fists hitting flesh. Grunts of pain. It was over in seconds. Doan stood up slowly. The assassin lay on the ground, unconscious. Doan was breathing hard and there was blood on his lip, but he was alive. The assassin was defeated. "Are you hurt?" Doan asked, looking at Yura. She could not speak. She could only stare at him. He had moved so fast, faster than any Valari guard she had ever seen. He had fought like an animal, wild and unpredictable. The assassin had been trained in elegant Valari combat. But Doan had used no elegance. He had used pure violence and instinct, and he had won. Yura's skin began to glow. Deep violet light spread across her face and down her arms. Violet was the color of awe. The color of being amazed. She could not stop it. She did not even try. "Princess," Doan said softly, "you should sit down. You have had a shock." Guards burst into the room. They took the assassin away. Mingi came running with worry on her face, but Yura barely noticed any of it. She looked at Doan, this strange human who had saved her life. He stood calmly while everyone panicked around him. He was not boasting or demanding praise. He was simply watching her, making sure she was safe. Humans were not what she had been taught. They were something else entirely. And as Yura finally sat down on her bed, her skin still glowing violet, she realized something that scared her more than any assassin. She wanted to know more about him. She wanted to understand how a creature with no claws, no fangs, no glowing skin could fight like that. She wanted to know what made humans so different. She wanted to know Kang, Doan, and that wanting was very dangerous indeed. 3 days had passed since the assassination attempt. The palace was now full of extra guards, but Princess Yura only felt safe when Doan was near. She hated to admit this, even to herself. She watched him from her window. He was in the training yard below, standing alone among the Valari warriors. He had requested permission to train with them. General Seojin had agreed, hoping to see the human fail. "This should be amusing," Seojin said loudly so everyone could hear. "Let us see what a human can do against real warriors." 3 Valari guards stepped forward. They were tall and strong, with centuries of combat training. Their movements were perfect and precise. They looked at Doan like he was a small insect. Doan removed his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. He did not stretch or prepare. He simply stood there, relaxed, waiting. "Begin," Seojin commanded. The first Valari attacked with a spinning kick. It was beautiful and powerful. But Doan was not there when the kick arrived. He had ducked low and moved to the side. Before the Valari could recover, Doan struck him twice in the ribs. The guard fell. The second Valari came with a series of elegant punches. Each strike flowed into the next like water. But Doan did not fight like water. He fought like fire. He blocked one punch and then head-butted the Valari in the face. The guard stumbled back, shocked. Humans did not fight like this. This was dirty. This was wild. Doan grabbed the guard and threw him to the ground. The third Valari hesitated. He had seen his brothers fall. He was afraid now. Doan did not wait. He charged forward and took the guard down with a tackle. They rolled in the dirt and then it was over. Doan stood up. All 3 Valari guards lay on the ground. The training yard was silent. Yura pressed her hand against the window. Her skin was glowing gold. Admiration? She could not believe what she had just seen. The Valari style was about control and perfection. Every movement was planned. Every strike was elegant. But Doan fought with chaos. He was unpredictable. He used his head, his elbows, his knees. He grabbed and threw and bit if he needed to. There were no rules in his fighting. There was only survival. "He is remarkable," Mingi said softly beside her. Yura quickly pulled her hand away from the window. She tried to calm her glow. "He is brutal. There is no art in how he fights. And yet he won." Yura could not argue with that. Later that evening, she found herself walking in the palace gardens. The twin moons hung in the sky, casting silver light on the crystal flowers. She often came here when she needed to think. She did not expect to find Doan there. He sat on a stone bench, looking up at the stars. His face was calm and peaceful. He looked different without his serious warrior expression. He looked almost gentle. "Why, you are a thought about leaving." But her feet carried her forward instead. "Do you not sleep?" she asked. Du-hun turned to look at her. He did not seem surprised. "I sleep when I need to. Tonight I wanted to see the stars." Yura sat down on the bench, keeping distance between them. "The stars are different here than on your world. Very different. On Earth, we have one sun and one moon. Your world has two of each. The night sky is completely different." He paused. "It is beautiful here, but it does not feel like home. Do you miss your home?" "Sometimes. I miss the smell of rain, the sound of birds in the morning, small things." Yura looked at him with curiosity. Her skin flickered pink, but she did not try to hide it this time. "May I ask you something?" "Yes. Why do humans fight so fiercely? You have no natural weapons. No claws or fangs. Your bodies are soft. Yet you defeated 3 of my best guards like they were children. How?" Doan was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. It was a small smile, but it changed his whole face. He looked younger, warmer. "Humans learned long ago that we are not the strongest or the fastest. On our world, there were animals that could kill us easily. So we had to be clever. We had to be determined. We had to refuse to die." "Refuse to die?" "Yes. That is the human secret. We do not give up. Even when we are hurt, even when we are scared, we keep fighting. We fight for the people we love. We fight for things that matter to us, and that makes us dangerous." Yura thought about his words. The Valari were taught to remove emotion from combat, to fight with cold logic, but Doan was saying the opposite. He was saying that emotion made humans stronger. "That seems foolish," she said. "Emotion clouds judgment. It makes you weak, does it?" Doan looked at her. "When that assassin came for you, I did not think about logic. I did not calculate the best strategy. I simply moved. I moved because I had to protect you. That feeling, that need, made me faster than any thought could." Yura felt her chest tighten. Her skin began to change color again. Soft rose appeared on her cheeks and spread down her neck. She knew what rose meant. Affection, the beginning of something deeper. She tried to stop it. She tried to push the feeling down, but it would not obey. Du-hun watched her glow. His eyes were gentle, not mocking. "Your skin is beautiful when it does that." "It's shameful," Yura said quickly. "Valari royalty should not show their feelings. I've been trying to control it my whole life." "What is wrong with feelings?" "They are weakness. My father says emotions make you easy to manipulate, easy to control." Doan shook his head slowly. "On Earth, we believe the opposite. We believe that showing your feelings takes courage. Anyone can hide behind a mask. It takes strength to be honest about what you feel." Yura stared at him. No one had ever said anything like this to her before. Her whole life she had been told to suppress her glow, to be cold and empty. But this human was telling her that glowing was brave. She did not know what to say. "You are glowing even brighter now," Doan said. His voice was soft, almost a whisper. Yura looked down at her arms. Rose gold light covered her skin, bright and warm. She felt embarrassed and exposed. But she also felt something else. She felt seen. I should go, she said quickly, standing up. Princess, she stopped but did not turn around. Thank you for talking with me tonight. It gets lonely, being far from home. Yura's heart ached at his words. She wanted to stay. She wanted to talk more. But she was afraid. Afraid of how much she wanted to stay, she walked away without looking back. But her skin continued to glow, rose gold all the way to her room. The next morning she received news that made everything worse. The assassination attempts were not random. They were part of a larger plot. A faction wanted to destroy the alliance between humans and Volari. They wanted to kill Yura because she was supposed to marry someone important, a political marriage that would strengthen the bond. Between species, Yura sat in her father's council room and listened to the details. But her mind was elsewhere. She did not want a political marriage. She did not want to be treated like property. And when she thought about marriage, about spending her life with someone, she realized she was thinking about dark eyes and a gentle voice. She was thinking about Du-hun. Her skin glowed rose under her sleeves. And she hid her hands beneath the table. This was very, very dangerous. She was falling for a human. The shuttle was small. Too small. Yura sat in her seat and tried not to look at Doan. He was sitting right across from her. Their knees were almost touching. They were traveling to Station Horizon, a massive space station where peace negotiations would take place. The journey would take 6 hours. 6 hours in this tiny shuttle with the human who made her skin glow without permission. Are you comfortable, princess? Doan asked. Yura nodded quickly. A flash of pink crossed her face. I am fine. She was not fine. Every time the shuttle shook, their knees bumped together. Every time Doan moved or spoke or even breathed, she became aware of him. Her skin kept flickering colors, pink, gold, rose. She felt like a broken light. Haniel, Doan's friend and fellow human soldier, sat in the back. He watched them with an amused smile. The princess seems uncomfortable, Haniel said. Perhaps she needs more space. There is no more space, Doan replied. This is the smallest shuttle available. How unfortunate, Haniel said. Still smiling, Yura wanted to throw something at him. Later, when Yura pretended to sleep, she heard Doan and Haniel talking quietly. You should be careful, Haniel said. I see how you look at her. I do not know what you mean. You know exactly what I mean. She is a princess, Doan. She is not for someone like us. Falling for royalty never ends well for soldiers. There was a long pause. Then Doan spoke, and his voice was heavy. I have never met anyone like her. She tries so hard to be cold, but I can see the warmth underneath. She is kind and smart and beautiful. And when she glows, when she cannot hide what she feels, I think it is the most honest thing I have ever seen. Yura's heart beat so hard, she thought they might hear it. She kept her eyes closed and tried to control her breathing. Her skin wanted to glow. She forced it down with all her strength. He thought she was beautiful. He thought her glow was honest. No one had ever said such things about her. Station Horizon was huge and bright. Thousands of different species walked through its halls. The diplomatic gala was held in a grand ballroom with windows that showed the stars. Yura wore a silver dress that flowed like water. Her white hair was arranged with small crystal pins. She looked every part the royal princess. But inside she felt sick. The gala was full of potential suitors. Her father had arranged for several important males from different species to meet her. They approached one by one, talking about alliances and treaties and political advantages. None of them asked what she wanted. None of them cared. Yura smiled politely and said the correct words. But her eyes kept moving to the edge of the room, where Doan stood guard. He was watching her. His face was calm, but his eyes were intense. A tall Volari noble approached her. He was handsome in the way statues are handsome, perfect and cold. Princess Yura, he said. I am honored to meet you. Perhaps we could discuss our potential union. Of course, Yura replied automatically. The noble talked about his lands and his power and his great family history. Yura nodded and pretended to listen, but she felt nothing. No curiosity. No interest. Her skin stayed perfectly gray. Then she looked across the room again. Doan was still watching her. Their eyes met. Her skin exploded with rose light. It spread across her face and neck and arms, bright and obvious and impossible to hide. Everyone nearby turned to look. The noble stopped talking. Whispers began to spread through the crowd. "Princess," the noble said slowly, "are you well? You seem to be glowing." Yura wanted to disappear. She wanted the floor to open and swallow her. Her feelings were on display for everyone to see, and everyone knew what rose meant. "Excuse me," she said quickly. "I need air." She walked fast through the crowd, trying to escape. She found a balcony at the edge of the ballroom and stepped outside. The cold air hit her face. She gripped the railing and tried to calm down. What was wrong with her? She had trained for years to control her glow. One look from a human, and all that training disappeared. "Princess!" She turned. Doan had followed her. "Go away," she said. Her voice shook. "I cannot. I am your guard. I do not want a guard right now. I want to be alone." Doan did not move. He stood there watching her with those deep dark eyes. "Why did you glow like that?" he asked quietly. "You know why? I want to hear you say it." Yura felt anger rise in her chest. But it was not really anger. It was fear. Fear of what she felt. Fear of how much she felt it. "This is your fault," she said. "Before you came, I could control myself. I could be the cold princess my father wanted. But you ruined everything. You and your human emotions. You and your talk about courage and honesty. Now I cannot stop glowing. Everyone knows." "Everyone saw? Is that so terrible?" "Yes, in my world, yes. Showing emotion is weakness. Showing love is shameful. And now everyone knows that She stopped. She could not say it. Doan stepped closer. "That you what?" "That I feel something for you," she whispered. "That I care about you. That when you are near, I cannot think straight. That when you look at me, my skin betrays every secret in my heart." Doan was very close now. She could feel the warmth from his body. "Where I come from," he said softly, "that is not shameful. Where I come from, that is the most precious thing in the universe." Yura looked up at him. Her skin was glowing, rose gold, bright and steady. She did not try to stop it anymore. "This cannot work," she said. "You are human. I am royalty. My father will never allow it. I know." "Then why are you looking at me like that?" "Because I cannot help it. Because you are the most incredible person I have ever met. Because when you glow, I see the real you, and she is beautiful." Yura felt tears in her eyes. No one had ever seen the real her. No one had ever wanted to. A scream came from inside the ballroom. Doan moved instantly. He grabbed Yura and pulled her behind him. Through the glass doors, she saw chaos. People were running. Figures in black were attacking. Assassins. "Stay behind me," Doan said. 3 assassins came through the balcony door. They moved fast, blades shining in the starlight. Dohan met them without hesitation. He fought like a storm, fierce and unstoppable. But there were too many. One assassin got past him. The blade swung toward Yura. Doan threw himself in front of her. The blade cut deep into his back. He grunted in pain but did not fall. Instead, he turned and killed the assassin with his bare hands. Then he fell to his knees. "Hey, Doan." Yura dropped beside him. Blood was spreading across his shirt. Red human blood. "Are you hurt?" he asked. He was the one bleeding, and he asked if she was hurt. No, I am fine." "But you? Good." He smiled weakly. "That is good." Yura's skin turned blinding white. Terror and love combined. She had never glowed so bright in her life. She screamed for help, not caring who heard. not caring what they thought. Guards came running. Medical teams followed. They took Doan away, and Yura followed. Her white glow lighting the hallway like a star. She would not leave him. She could not. She finally understood what human emotion felt like. It was not weakness. It was everything. The medical wing was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. Ura sat beside Doan's bed and watched him sleep. Valari medicine had saved his life. The wound was healing, but he had not woken up yet. 3 days had passed. Yura had not left his side. She did not eat much. She did not sleep much. She simply sat and watched and waited. Minji brought her food and worried about her. Hanil came often to check on his friend, but Yura barely spoke to anyone. Her skin had settled into a soft blue glow. Sadness, fear, waiting. On the third night, Doan opened his eyes. "Princess?" His voice was rough and weak. Yura grabbed his hand without thinking. Her skin immediately changed from blue to bright gold. Relief, joy, her whole body shimmered. "You are awake," she said. Her voice cracked. "You stupid, foolish human. You almost died." Doan smiled slowly. "But I did not die. And you are safe. That is what matters." "I matter? What about you? You threw yourself in front of a blade for me. Why would you do that?" "I think you know why." Yura's glow shifted to rose. She looked away, embarrassed by how transparent she was. "You should not have done it. Your life is not worth less than mine. To me it is. That is ridiculous. That is love." The word hung in the air between them. Love. He had said it. Out loud. Yura felt her heart beating so fast, she thought it might burst. "You cannot love me," she whispered. "You barely know me, and know enough. I know you pretend to be cold when you are warm. I know you hide your feelings because you were taught they were shameful. I know you are brave and smart and kind. And I know that when I am near you, I feel like I have finally found something worth fighting for."
Yura could not speak.
Her glow was cycling through colors. Pink, gold, rose, white. All of her emotions were on display, and she did not try to stop them. A knock on the door interrupted them. General Seojin entered with 2 guards. His face was hard and cold. "Princess Yura, the Emperor demands your presence, immediately." Yura stood slowly. She did not want to leave Doan, but she could not refuse her father. "I will return," she told Doan. He nodded, but his eyes were worried. The throne room felt colder than Yura remembered. Emperor Taewon sat on his throne, his skin perfectly gray. No emotion showed on his face. But Yura had known her father her whole life. She could see the anger in his eyes. "Daughter," he said, "I have seen the recordings from the gala." Yura's stomach dropped. "I saw you glow rose in front of hundreds of important guests. I saw you run to the balcony. I saw the human follow you. And I saw you glow white when he was injured, brighter than any Valari has glowed in centuries." Yura said nothing. There was nothing to say. "You have embarrassed this family," Emperor Taiwan continued. "You have embarrassed the entire Valari Empire. Every species now knows that the princess has feelings for a human Yura. They are primitive. They are beneath us." "They are not beneath us," Yura said quietly. "What did you say?" Yura looked up at her father. Something was changing inside her. Something was breaking free. He said, "They are not beneath us. Humans are not primitive or weak. They are different. They feel deeply and love fiercely. They protect the people they care about, even if it costs them their lives. That is not weakness, father. That is strength." Emperor Taiwan's skin flickered with a hint of red. "Anger. You have been corrupted by them. Their emotions have infected you?" "No. They have freed me." Yura stepped forward. Her skin began to glow gold, strong and steady. "My whole life, you taught me that feelings were shameful. You taught me to hide my glow, to be cold and empty. But I was never cold inside, father. I was always burning. I just learned to hide it. Hiding it is proper. Showing it is disgraceful. Why? Why is honesty disgraceful? Why is love shameful? The humans do not think so. They show their feelings proudly. They think it takes courage to be honest about what you feel. And I am starting to believe they are right. The throne room was silent. General Seojin and the guards stared at Yura with shock. No one had ever spoken to the emperor like this. Emperor Taiwan stood slowly. His tall figure cast a shadow over his daughter. You will never see the human again. He will be reassigned to a distant post, and you will marry whoever I choose for the good of the empire. This discussion is over. No. The word came out clear and strong. No. The emperor's skin finally showed color. Dark red. Fury. No, father. I will not marry someone I do not love. I will not pretend to be cold anymore. And I will not let you send Doan away. You do not have a choice. Everyone has a choice. You taught me that the Valari way is control, but the humans taught me something better. They taught me that real strength comes from choosing what matters, even when it is hard, even when it is dangerous, even when everyone tells you not to. Urez's glow burned brighter. Gold and rose mixed together, conviction and love. I choose him, father. I choose the human who saved my life. I choose the man who looks at my glow and sees beauty instead of shame. I choose Kong Doan. Emperor Taiwan stared at his daughter. For a long moment, no one moved. Then the emperor sat back down. His face was unreadable. Leave me, he said quietly. I need to think. Yura bowed and walked out. Her heart was pounding. She did not know what would happen next, but she knew she had finally spoken her truth. She ran to the medical wing. She had to see Doan. She had to tell him what she had done. But when she arrived, the room was empty. The bed was still warm, but Doan was gone. Where is he? She asked a passing nurse. The human. He was taken by General Seojin's guards. They said he was being reassigned immediately. No, 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 no. Yura ran through the palace. She searched everywhere. Finally, she heard sounds of fighting from the main corridor. She found Doan surrounded by 6 Valari guards. He was still weak from his wound, but he was fighting. He was fighting to get past them. She called out. He looked at her. His face was bruised and bloody, but his eyes were full of fire. I am not leaving, he said. I do not care what your father says. I need to see you. I need to talk to you. I know, Yura said. She walked past the guards, who parted for her in confusion. She walked straight to Doan and took his hand. Her skin glowed rose gold, bright and beautiful. She did not hide it. She did not want to. I told my father, she said. I told him I'd choose you. Doan stared at her. You did what? I chose you. I do not know what will happen. I do not know if my father will accept it, but I know what I feel. And I am done hiding. Dohan pulled her close. He held her gently, careful of her glowing skin, careful of everything she was. I have never met anyone like you, he whispered. I have never felt like this before, she whispered back. I do not want you to leave. Then I will not leave. No matter what happens, I will stay. The guards watched them uncertainly. They had orders to remove the human, but the princess was glowing brighter than any Valari they had ever seen, and she was holding on to him like he was the only thing that mattered. For the first time in her life, Princess Yura was not ashamed of her glow. She was proud of it. The alarms woke Yura from a restless sleep. Red lights flashed through her window. The sound was loud and terrible. She had never heard the palace alarms before. She ran to her balcony, then looked up at the sky. Her blood went cold. Ships filled the orange sky of Allura. Hundreds of them. They were dark and ugly, marked with the symbol of the enemy faction. The same faction that had sent assassins to kill her. They were not sending assassins anymore. They were sending an army. Explosions shook the city. Ura watched in horror as crystal towers crumbled. Fire spread through the streets. Her beautiful world was being destroyed. Doan burst into her room. He was wearing his combat armor, weapons strapped to his body. His face was hard and focused. We need to move. Now. What is happening? Full invasion. They want to destroy the alliance between humans and Valari. Killing you is the fastest way to do that. He grabbed her hand. I will not let that happen. They ran through the palace. Guards were everywhere, rushing to defend. Yura saw fear on faces that had always been calm. The Valari were not prepared for this. Their elegant tactics and perfect formations meant nothing against such overwhelming force. In the command center, Emperor Taiwan stood surrounded by generals. His skin was gray, but there was fear underneath. Yura could see it. Our defenses are failing, General Seojin reported. They have too many ships. Too many soldiers. We cannot hold them. Then we die fighting, the Emperor said. No, Doan stepped forward. Everyone turned to look at him. We do not die. We win. General Seojin glared at him. What can one human do against an army? I am not just one human. There are other human soldiers on this planet. We may be few, but we fight differently than you. Your tactics are predictable. Perfect. The enemy knows exactly what you will do. But they do not know how to fight us. Doan looked at the Emperor directly. Give me command of the ground defense. Let me mix human and Valari soldiers together. We will show them something they have never seen. Emperor Taiwan studied Doan for a long moment. The palace shook from another explosion. Do it, the Emperor said. Duhun nodded and turned to leave. Yura grabbed his arm. I am coming with you. No. It is too dangerous. I do not care. I am not hiding while my world burns. Awan looked at her. She was glowing gold with determination. He knew that look. He knew he could not stop her. Stay close to me, he said. The battle was chaos. Enemy soldiers flooded through the streets of the city. They fought with precision and training. The Valari guards met them with elegant techniques, but Doan changed everything. He led a mixed group of human and Valari fighters. He taught them to fight dirty, to use the environment, to be unpredictable. The Valari warriors were confused at first. This was not how they trained. But they saw Doan charging into enemy lines with impossible courage. They saw him refuse to fall, no matter how many times he was hit. They saw his human stubbornness and fire, and they followed him. Do not fight their way, Doan shouted. Fight yours. Fight like you mean it. Fight like your families are behind you, because they are. The Valari guards began to change. They stopped thinking about perfect form. They started thinking about survival, about protection, about love. They started fighting like humans. The enemy was not prepared for this. Their formations broke. Their strategies failed. Wild. Emotional fighters were destroying their ranks, but the battle was not won yet. Yura stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Minji had brought her a communication device. She could broadcast to everyone on the planet. Princess Minji said, You should say something. The people need hope. Yura was scared. She had spent her whole life hiding her feelings. Now she was supposed to show them to the entire world. But she thought about Doan. She thought about everything he had taught her. She activated the broadcast. At people of Allura. This is Princess Yura, her voice carried across the planet. I know you are afraid. I am afraid too. Our world is burning. Our enemies are at our gates. She paused. Her skin began to glow. She did not stop it. All my life, I was taught that emotion is weakness, that we should hide our feelings, that the Valari way is cold and perfect. But I have learned something different. I learned it from a human. The glow spread across her body, pink and gold and rose. Every color she had always hidden. Emotion is not weakness. It is strength. Love is not shameful. It is powerful. When we care about something, when we truly love someone, we become capable of incredible things. Humans know this. They fight with their hearts, and they win against impossible odds. She looked down at the battle below. She saw Doan leading the charge. His body was covered in blood and dust, but he kept fighting. He refused to fall. Fight for your families. Fight for your loved ones. Fight with your hearts. Let your skin glow. Let the enemy see what we feel. Let them see our love and our courage and our fury. We are Valari, and we are not afraid to feel. The broadcast ended. Across the city, something changed. Valari soldiers began to glow. Red with anger, gold with determination, rose with love for their home. They fought harder than they had ever fought before. The enemy began to retreat, but the battle was not over. The enemy commander's ship still hovered over the palace. As long as he lived, the attack would continue. Doan knew what he had to do. He found a small shuttle and flew toward the command. The ship alone. The ship was full of enemy soldiers. It did not matter. He had to end this. He crashed through the hull and fought his way inside. Soldiers attacked him from every direction. He took wounds. He bled. But he did not stop. He found the enemy commander on the bridge. The commander was tall and cruel, with scars covering his face. One human, the commander laughed. You think one human can stop me? One human can do anything, Doan said. If he has something worth fighting for. They fought. It was brutal and desperate. The commander was strong and skilled. He cut Doan again and again. Doan fell to his knees. His vision blurred. He thought about Yura, her silver skin, her white hair. The way she glowed rose when she looked at him. He thought about her smile. When she finally stopped hiding, he thought about her voice saying she chose him. Duhan stood up. The commander stared in disbelief. Why will you not die? Because I refuse to. Doan charged forward. He took the commander's blade in his shoulder and kept moving. He grabbed the commander and threw him through the bridge window. The commander fell into the sky. Screaming, Doan collapsed on the deck. Around him, the enemy ship began to fall apart. The crew was fleeing. The battle was ending. He smiled weakly. I told you, Yura. Humans do not give up. He closed his eyes. When Doan woke up, he was back in the palace medical wing. Yura was beside him, holding his hand. Her skin was glowing, soft rose. You are alive, she whispered. I told you I would stay. Yura laughed. It was a real laugh, warm and full of joy. Tears ran down her glowing cheeks. You stupid, beautiful, stubborn human, I love you too. The door opened. Emperor Tyone entered. Doan tried to sit up, but pain shot through his body. The emperor raised a hand to stop him. Do not move. You are badly wounded, Emperor. I silence. Emperor Taiwan walked to the bed. He looked down at Doan with an expression that was hard to read. You saved my world. You saved my daughter. You taught my people to fight with their hearts. Emperor paused. His skin flickered. Just for a moment, Yura saw a hint of gold. Gratitude. I was wrong about humans. I was wrong about emotion. And I was wrong to try to separate you from my daughter. He looked at Yura, then back at Doan. Protect her. That is no longer an order. It is a request. Yura's glow turned blinding bright. Gold and rose together, joy and love. Father, she whispered. Emperor Taiwan nodded once, then left the room. Doan and Yura were alone. I think your father just gave us his blessing, Doan said. I think he did. They looked at each other. After everything they had been through, after all the pain and the fear and the fighting, they were finally together. So what happens now? Doan asked. Yura smiled. Her skin glowed rose gold, steady and beautiful. Now we build something new. Together. Human and Valari. Emotion and strength. Heart and courage. She leaned down and pressed her forehead against his. Now we live, Kong Doan. We live and we love and we glow. Doan smiled. He reached up and touched her glowing cheek. I can work with that. Outside the window, the twin suns rose over Allura. The crystal towers were damaged but still standing. The sky was clear. The war was over.